So this is the second segment of what I'm doing tonight about flying. One of the other songs that came out that I really, really liked for quite some time is Nelly Furtado. Hi, kitty. And she sings... Even after all these years. Cool, alright. Here's the deal. I always wanted to fly. And I hit this point when I turned 27. You know how they talk about the 27 Club? It was right around that time where things were starting to take just a really horrible turn when my grandmother passed away, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and I was out of work for a while. And then I get this job, I win all this money at this casino. My life is just, you know, aces. And then in September, it was before September 11th, I remember, because I had to plan my route out. But in August of 2004, my best friend called me, and she said, you know, I think that so-and-so might be having an affair. And she's like, but I don't know for sure. And they had been you know, going back and forth with why he wouldn't let her see her phone. And then I said, well, the only way that you can probably surefire figure it out is to look at the phone records and look at your Visa bills. Look at your credit card bills and see what it is that he's charging on the card that he doesn't want you to know. And she did that, and it all came out, and it was a nightmare. And then my other friend's cousin got shot in Portland, and I was going to try to go to the funeral. And then I had a friend in Hawaii who had a baby who was having all kinds of problems when she was born. And do you think you might be able to make it out here? And I had the pressure of all of this stuff weighing down on me, and I'd been working 80-hour work weeks, and we were on the road all the time. And I had never been manic. I didn't know what it was. And the third night I was there, I had gone to my optometrist to drop off my glasses. I said, I'll pick them up on my way out of town. That Thursday, the night before I was supposed to leave, I stayed at one of my grandmother's best friend's house. And I started acting really bizarre. Something kicked on in me, and I was like feeling really weird. And I had this energy, and, you know, I was kind of pacing up and down their street, and I didn't know if it was just because I was getting, you know, homesick, and I knew I had so much that I had to do, and, you know, I was praying constantly, which was, you know, kind of probably the one time in my life that I prayed more than ever. And the whole thing turned into a ginormous, life-changing, life-altering, life-bending, life-breaking heartache for 8 years, basically. When I had responded to a question, I had slept over at my grandma's friends, and evidently I kept them up all night with my going in and out of the house and all this, and I was laying in bed, and I remember crying and missing my grandmother and my grandfather, and I just kind of closed my eyes, and I felt both of them by me. And I was privy to these experiences. I held my grandmother, and this flash went through me, and I don't know what kind of supernatural it was, but it was supernatural. And I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden I hear this voice. Do you want to know? This whisper. I leapt out of that bed. I damn near hit the ceiling. Crawled into the corner, lips a-quivering, teeth a-chattering, and I knew it was God. And I sat there for a second, and I said, do I want to know what? And he said, do you want to know what it was like for Jesus Christ to live and die, in a plain voice? I said, yeah. I mean, I didn't even think about it. And so the story goes, he said, prepare yourself for torture, prepare yourself for judgment, prepare yourself for persecution, prepare yourself to suffer like you've never suffered before. And I thought God was going to kill me. I didn't know what in the hell he meant, but I was up by 5 o'clock in the morning. I was calling my ex-fiance, leaving him all these messages. I was trying to get square and like make sure that, you know, everything was taken care of. I mean, the biggest thing on my heart at that point in my life, as far as reconciliations of relationships or me, you know, being gone off this planet and not being able to say what I wanted to say, was to my ex-fiance, who in turn completely mistook the messages. A 911 call was made. There was a suggestion that I had been taking things to stay awake. They didn't know whether or not I had a weapon, whether I was a danger to myself. He thought I was going to kill myself. All of this ends up linking to another call that when I was frantically calling my optometrist about, I need to get my glasses and go, go, go. And I stopped by my friend Wendy. She's like, you got to get out of town. I'm like, I got to get my glasses. She said, no, get out of town. Something bad's going to happen. And we both felt it. We didn't know what the hell was going on with me. And, you know, so I wrapped up the nightmare of a trip and I was taken off to go. And I hit the 164th Street exit. And I took it. And I knew when I was driving northbound up 164th that I was going to get caught. Something was going to happen to me and I was going to get detained there. I knew the police were going to be there. I didn't quite know what it was that I was going to have to face, because this was the big, you know, the first juncture of many, many avenues that I would end up taking with God. And it was unbelievable how everything that I had envisioned when I was panicking and making those phone calls and calling the optometrist, the second call came through and was linked to the first call. So they thought that they had some kind of serious relationship, or I mean, some kind of serious situation. And the only thing that I had in my car were a bunch of poetry, some Bibles, my guitar, some Bibles, my poetry, my clothes. You know, there was absolutely nothing in my car that could even be mistaken as a weapon unless they wanted to include a pen. And it turned out to be sheer and utter terror. The way that I was treated, I was bombarded by these two officers who grabbed me, and my keys fell on the ground, and the last trinket for my car keychain that my grandma had bought me shattered on the ground. And they led me out there and paraded me around in front of people and put me in the back of a car. And one of the officers comes up and he's like, hey, can you tune this for me, you know? And the other officer was just kind of shaking his head, and I was just thinking, oh my God, this is what it was like for Jesus to be like bounced around when he hasn't done anything wrong. Another car came. Edward was the man who drove me to the hospital. He let me walk right in front of him. You know, I was in handcuffs. He didn't even know where to take me. He didn't even know what to do. But fortunately for me, the hospital was alerted, and there were some nasty little nurses and mean little doctors that seemed to think that I was some hardened criminal, that I was homicidal. And they were beyond horrible. One nurse, her name was Laura. I kept having to use the restroom because my bladder was nervous. And she comes in and she's just standing there looking at me like she just wants to punch me in the face. And I said, please don't touch me anymore. I gave you your urine sample. I gave you my blood. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to be extreme about this. You don't need to catheterize me. You don't need to do anything. And the minute those words flew out of my mouth, within 3 minutes, and there was a security guard by my door. I mean, I don't know what in the hell they were thinking I was going to do, but it sure as hell wasn't remotely close to what it was that they thought. So I'll try to wrap on this in segment 3. Hope you check it out. If not, thanks, and remember, wherever you go, there you are.